Hello again from my front porch. Tomorrow is election day. Whew. Thankfully. Now you all know that I am not ignorant to politics. In fact, I enjoy following them. I've been engaged in politics almost my entire life, and I've even run for office myself. So I am not somebody who just tunes it out. However, there are times when I wish I could, and this year has been one of them. I am so sick of the commercials, of the constant text messages, of the email box being filled, of my mailbox being filled with stuff. The best thing that we can say so far, in my opinion, is that the U.S. Postal Service is been given a breath of fresh air, breath of new life, because of all the money being spent on all of the wasted junk mail that shows up in my box that I just put right into recycling and I don't even read. But hey, the Postal Service made money to deliver it, so yay. But what I really want to talk about today is the religion of politics. Now I know, based on the title, you might have thought I was going to talk about people who mix their religion and their politics, and I will touch on that just briefly. The one thing that I will say is I don't really have a problem with somebody who has firm, solid, personal religious beliefs, and that impacts what they do politically. Because honestly, if that's not what happens with you, then you don't really believe what you believe. And what I mean by it is this: if you say choose your religion, whatever. I'm going to use Christianity. That's my personal choice. So if I say I am a Christian and I believe these things, I better believe them more than just when I go to church on Sunday. I better believe them and actually embody those things when I'm out in public doing whatever, when I'm at work, when I'm shopping, when I'm hanging out with my friends, when I'm with my family, when I'm alone. It shouldn't just be a label I slap on. It should be who I am. It should permeate every part of my life if I really believe those things. And so the idea that while someone says they connect or they're a follower of X religion, whatever, but it's bad, it's taboo if they then let that influence what they do in the political realm, that's nonsense. People who go to church or synagogue or temple or whatever and perform their religious function there, but then do different stuff in other contexts, those are not thoughtful, intelligent people. They are what we call hypocrites. And so I would rather that somebody was consistent with their beliefs. Now, having said that, there are a lot of people who go to church, who are religious, that don't really have religion. There is a difference. Religion would mean whatever you're choosing would mean that, again, that impacts who you are. Religious means you put on a show. You might be there every Sunday or Saturday or Wednesday or whatever, whenever your organization, your denomination would gather. You might be there all the time. You might donate big sums of money. You might volunteer for committees. You might be very, very engaged. However, you do that for show. You don't do it because it really means something here. You do it because you're trying to accomplish something. You're trying to achieve something. You're networking. You're building leverage. You're building a reputation. You like being involved and being in charge of programs and people saying, hey, good job. You're doing such a great job with it. That's what drives you, and that is your religion. Oh, you might be religious, but your religion in that case is you and your own self-interest. Well, in that same mindset applies politically too. And I'm going to differentiate. I'm not talking about religious people who get involved with politics. I'm going to talk about people who make politics their religion. There are some who are religious about politics, just like they are church. That they get, and they're the same type of mentality as people who are bandwagon sports fans. I cheer for this team when they're winning. That kind of thing. Fair weather, you can't count on all the time. But And so there are people politically who, oh, I'm for this candidate or I'm for this party now, but in other times, no, that's not so much, that's not who I am. I pick and choose based on what that would be. That's not really who I'm talking about here now. I want to talk about people who make politics their religion. And I do believe this is a very real thing. And the reason I got to thinking about this is I got to thinking about things like, the Dark Ages or the Crusades or the Spanish Inquisition. Any of these awful times in our history where you find that these horrible things happen, that humanity engages in these really bad, ugly things, and yet they have a religious underpinning to them. That there is a religious justification, and that religious justification causes them to not only do what they have to do, but to just be obsessive about it, to be so focused on it that they tune out anything that would contradict the mindset they have now chosen, the path they have selected. Now again, in a purely religious context, if you have religion, if you have your belief system, and I say I'm a Christian, what I'm saying is I follow Christ. I believe He is the way, the truth, and life, and that He is the only way to heaven through salvation and the shedding of His blood to wash away sin. All of that is what we're told is what a Christian is. There are people who use the title Christian that don't believe all that stuff, and in doing so, misuse the title. They're using it out of convenience, not because it's a belief system. Well, again, politically, there are people who misuse titles and labels and throw them around willy-nilly all the time. But, just like a Christian would say, I believe Jesus is the way to heaven, and He is the only way to heaven. So you get into discussion about how you get to heaven. If a Christian then steps back and says, well, there could be multiple ways. Okay, at that point, what you're saying is, I don't really believe Christ is the way to get to heaven. That's what you're saying. And okay, if that's what you believe, okay. But don't call yourself a Christian because you don't really believe Christ is the way. So you've undermined that. Politically, let's take that same mindset over here politically. Just as a Christian should dogmatically say, no, the only way to heaven is Jesus because I am a Christian, that's what I believe, the same thing applies politically. But not always in such a positive way. I'm a Democrat, and I believe this, and anything else is wrong, is invalid, is evil. I'm a Republican. I believe this way, and anything else is wrong, is invalid, is evil. That's where we're at now. People turning politics into their religion. Something that they will fight tooth and nail for, that they will, and I don't mean just verbally, I mean physically, literally fighting each other, taking action, aggression. We see this building to the point now that people are saying that no matter how this next election turns out, we'll be on the brink of civil war. Now, that is so silly. I know. I'm fully in tune with politics. I know that there are things that impact. I also know that we overplay it too. Every election is the most crucial election of our time. It kind of is true. However, it is not Chicken Little, the sky is falling true. And you know what? I know this is probably gonna freak some people out, but I don't think Donald Trump is anywhere near as bad as we try to portray him to be. I don't like him. I think he's the thug. I'm not a fan. I am not a fan. I'm also not a fan of Joe Biden. I think he's a liar. I think he is trying to sell us a false facade. In fact, I honestly don't believe he's even mentally competent to be president. I just genuinely don't. And so I don't like either one of them. But the depictions of Donald Trump as being this evil ogre that if there's 4 more years of Trump, why civilization as we know it will come to an end. That's absurd. That is absolutely absurd. Now, would there be things that population that's more to the liberal end of the spectrum won't like? Absolutely there would be. That's called the impact of elections. But is it the end of the world? No. But we create this hysteria. We create this extremism so that it's polarizing. So that the real sensible logic says neither party has a monopoly on wisdom. Neither party has a monopoly on doing what is right. And yet, they want us to believe they do. Don't fall prey to that. Don't fall prey to it. Make sure that when you're voting, if you haven't already, you do it with your own mind. Don't fall prey to the religion of politics. And with that, I'll see you next time from my front porch.